Hello YouTube, I'm Baltmatrix, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Class Warpath. Pick this figure up over at thecommandstore.com. I also have an order coming from the Big Bad Toy Store of the same figure. Okay, long story short, this guy and the rest of the Deluxes were supposed to arrive on December 5th. It is now December 19th. They just arrived. Thanks, USPS. The figure stands a couple inches tall and is modeled in mostly red and white. The overall aesthetic for this Warpath figure is pretty good. It does not, however, come with a cat accessory. For those fans of the Generation 1 character, this is a very good rendition of the character. And it's cold right now, so the cat wants to use me as a, warming pad. I like the head sculpt. It works well, and it looks like the back of a tank, the top of a turret of a tank. However, we do not get, his head, winds up in the turret, but not in the way you might think. His gun can extend in this mode, though getting it out sometimes requires a bit of force. And as you can see, he can go pow, kazam, bang in robot mode. It also can look up and shoot up like that. No, kitty, you cannot eat Warpath. Ah, don't eat me! Warpath's posability is pretty darn good and continues the good trend that Deluxes have had. Head is on a ball joint, though it is a little bit limited in how it can look up and down. Swivel in the shoulder with a hinge. If you remove the shield accessory, you can go full out 90 degrees. Bend at the elbow, swivel just above the elbow. Fists do articulate. There is a torso swivel, but it is incredibly tight and is limited by the backpack, or butt pack in this case. Legs can kick forward and back and out. There is a thigh swivel, and ankle articulation is 90 degrees. The figure comes with this shield accessory, which is mountable in any siege port on any figure, and it also has a blast peg mounting point. In robot mode, he has other points, one on his left forearm, one on his right shin, and then obviously the cannon barrel tip is another blast point. Now, one word of warning about this little accessory: if you lose it, it really messes up the look of the tank mode, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. But also, with this figure, I've got a couple of issues. One, the reds are not uniform. We are talking about different shades of red and maroon throughout the figure, which is incredibly weird. So just starting with the legs, like the feet and the shins are the same color, but turn the figure to the side and you've got the outer part of the lower leg is a different color from the rest of the shin and the foot, but it's the same color as the thigh and the crotch and the area here, but that is a different color red from the turret, chest, and the arms, which is a different color red from the backpack, the shoulder mounts, and the actual barrel, and the head. So what the hell? Another big issue that I have with the figure are its legs, specifically the swivels for forward and back movement. They're far too loose. I mean, just a light wiggle makes it like I'm not really trying all that hard. I think I can fix this with a little bit of super glue or even floor polish remover, but still, it's way too loose. They're strong enough for the figure to stand up and stick in poses, but that's about it. The figure does possess a mounting point just behind his butt, so you can plug it in and have him float in the air if you so choose. While I was playing with the figure, I thought he felt small, but that's obviously not the case. He scales pretty well with his Autobot brethren, but he also scales really well with some of the shorter Deluxe class Decepticons. Yeah, he is a slight bit shorter than some of them, but he's still bigger than Cliffjumper. Before we continue on with the transformation, this is probably the most annoying part of this transformation, and that is getting this panel flipped up behind the section here, and then flipping out this inner panel. And honestly, I haven't figured out a good way to do this. Come on! I always end up popping this piece off and then having to reattach it because the slightest pressure pops this little panel off, unfortunately, and that's a shame because it's a critical part of the transformation that sucks. For the last part of the transformation, that's where the armor comes into play, and you kind of need this in order to hold the damn thing together. There are 2 peg holes right here by the lower wheels, and there are 2 peg holes right here in the front of the tank, and it will peg into all 4 of them. And if this weren't here, the tank mode would not stick together. You can see it's already fighting to come apart. Even when you have all the panels lined up exactly, the dang thing fights itself to go back to partial robot mode. The tank mode is fine in terms of overall aesthetic. It works well, it is very reminiscent of his original Generation 1 tank, and I like it. I genuinely do. The turret can spin 360 degrees, and it has... well, you can raise the barrel up about 25, maybe 30 degrees. Overall, pretty solid tank mode. What isn't good about the tank mode, though, is 1, it doesn't like to stay together, and 2, again, this is where the different color reds are really compounded. It's hard to tell if this is showing up on my viewfinder, but the red going down the very middle of the tank mode is a completely different shade than what is out here on the sides of the tank mode. And then again, we have a different color barrel from the turret, from the top of the turret, and then the back where the engine is different colored from the sides again. It's really, really annoying. I don't know. I just am sick and tired of the change in coloring throughout an alt mode, but let's face it, the Siege, Earthrise, and now Kingdom are all suffering from it. Sunstreaker says hi, by the way. In terms of size, Warpath is roughly the same size as current Deluxe class figures, in vehicle mode that is. As you can see, here is Sunstreaker. He is, however, smaller than a cat. Hey, Hopper. Okay, no, Hopper. No. Don't eat the blast effects. They'll upset your stomach. Overall, would I recommend Warpath? Yes. Sort of. I like it, but there are a lot of problems, as I said, but I still like the figure. I really want to see more mini-bots get this Deluxe class treatment. I would love to see Brawn, or Windcharger, or Beachcomber. Beachcomber being my favorite. And heck, give us a freaking Cosmos, please. Yeah, it's a fine figure. It's fine. There's nothing inherently structurally wrong with it. Everything is aesthetics except for the hips. But I think I could fix those. So folks, please head down to the link in the description on this video review and head over to the Big Bad Toy Store. I'm also going to put a link down there for the Command Store. That's CMDSTORE. While you're down in the description, please be sure to follow me over on Patreon. I'm going to be starting to do some new stuff, and there are going to be some giveaways starting in January. You'll find out what those are if you're a patron very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and no bad kitty.